Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul. Yes, 5:18 is the time, and you already know I give you the time all the time because I do the morning show, and I'm just so used to giving you the time. But here's the thing. Hampton Roads Voices, that is what you are tuned into. And today's episode is entitled Mass Incarceration, Present-Day Slavery. I'm going to have two special guests. One of them is running late, and I think his phone is dead because I can't call him. We were going to get him on the phone and lock him in, but it's all good. He's on his way. I do have one of my guests in already. Her name is Dr. Jaclyn Walker. She's the founder of the Man Foundation. Hello, Jaclyn.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I am great. Just happy to be here. Not only here, but back to my alumni in two ways, NSU alumni and Hot 91.
Yes.
You got to pronounce that 91 real good radio show from back in the day.
Yes. And a Mass Comm alum. Yes. Flip your hair. So yeah, it's nice to have you back. And it's funny how, life comes full circle because you're up here talking about your foundation. Is it a nonprofit as well?
Yes, it's a nonprofit foundation.
Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into the show. Mass incarceration, present day slavery. It's going to be a feisty one. And I know Hampton Roads love talking about things like this. A little bit of weeks ago, we did a show about school to prison pipeline, and you guys blew the phone lines up. And so we're expecting the same thing. And you guys really wanted to talk about this. You wanted to talk about, how mass incarceration is present day slavery and how, it's owned by private companies and things of that nature. So tonight is your night to do that. Give us a call whenever you feel like talking about this. Please make sure it's to the point. We stay on the point and no cursing, okay? 757-823-9110, 823-9110 if you have something to talk to say or talk about this, okay? So, Dr. Walker, can you share the purpose and the goals and the mission and all that good stuff of your the Man Foundation?
So the Man Foundation has a dual meaning. So I think in the beginning of the conversation, we'll kind of talk about the first meaning of it. And it stands for Men Alleviating Negativity. And basically our motto comes from Socrates. And he says that the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but building the new. So primarily what that means is that just because you have been locked up or you're locked up now or you've made some bad choices in life, it doesn't mean that you have to focus on that. It means that whatever you're doing, if you're in there right now, spend your time focusing on making some goals, setting some goals, allowing dreams and visions. I go to the prisons all the time or jails all the time, and there's so much talent in there.
Wow.
And if people could focus on that positive energy that they have within them, then they would be able to come out here, create their own businesses, go to work for someone where they can use their talents, because there's so much talent out there that it's just like so ridiculous. But one of our main purposes is to reduce the rate of recidivism in the African American community. Mm-hmm. And we do not discriminate against anyone. People always ask me why we always put African Americans on the forefront, but I have to look at the statistics. It's been stated over and over again that 1 out of every 3 African American men will more than likely be in prison in his lifetime. So if we go outside and we count 1, 2, 3, one of those people will be incarcerated at some point in time in their life, or the likelihood of it. And more than likely, that's exactly what's going to happen, because we have so much going on with racial profiling. We have so much going on with mandatory minimum sentences. It's like such a whole lot of information that goes on into why these statistics are like this. But we do incorporate everyone. We do not discriminate. So we've had people to say, if I'm a woman, can I come and get services from you all? Yes, you can. Or if I'm of another race, yes, you can. But we also focus on children of incarcerated parents, and we also focus on inmates that are currently serving time in any type of facility. But our purpose is to really reduce that recidivism rate with children. The statistics say, too, that if you have a parent that is incarcerated, you're 3 to 4 times more likely to be incarcerated yourself.
Oh, wow.
So on that end, we want to be proactive instead of being reactive. So everything that we do is really centered around either being proactive for children or for people that are in that kind of school to prison pipeline, or reactive for individuals that have already served their time or are currently serving their time and they want to come out and get a new start. Our second portion of what we say is that all citizens deserve a second chance. Is no one out here that's going to tell me that you haven't made a mistake and you don't deserve a chance. A lot of us have done some illegal things out here, but we just never got caught. So you can't say that, you know, oh, I wouldn't do that, or if I was locked up, or if this happened or that happened. You have to be able to really focus on what's going on in our days and times. And once we get in more into the show, it's so much that we have to talk about that really kind of covers this mass incarceration and this modern day slavery.
Okay, the Man Foundation. I hear y'all. Okay, so the second fold of that question is what, because I know it hits close to home, this foundation, this nonprofit of yours. What inspired you to create it?
Well, what inspired me to create it is that my actual fiance is a convicted felon. At the time when I created the foundation, when I met him, I did not have the foundation. When I met him, I didn't even know that any of this was going to happen or any of this was going to go on. But what happened is that when he eventually became incarcerated, I was in so much pain. So it caused me to be in like a state of depression, which caused me to have a passion. Because what people don't understand is that pain can bring you a passion about something.
Talk about it.
So when I got the passion for it, I started researching what can be done. So keep in mind, a lot of times when people hear that I'm doctor, which I don't really, you know, per se have a big thing about the title, they want to know, how did you even get involved with this situation? But you can't fight fate nor destiny, and you can't say what you're going to do about love. So when I met him and then he ended up becoming incarcerated, then I started to go ahead and make this foundation. I felt like that if people out there were like me, then they needed to get assistance as well. One of my breaking points is that before he had a paid lawyer, they give you a public defender. So one of the public defenders said that, you know, we're going to use you on the stand, and, you know, you would be a good character witness for him. So I was like, wow. They said, because most of the time when we get girlfriends for character witnesses, they're ratchet. Or they ghetto. That's exactly what they said to me. And I said, you're not going to use me, or you're not going to manipulate me to make it seem like that, oh, the only reason why everything can go straight and he can have a good character witness is because of the degrees or the education or the occupational experiences that I have.
Wow.
So we went through court cases. We went through him being incarcerated for 3.5 years. We went through him being in 4 different facilities. And it was not a week that gone by that I didn't write, that I didn't call, that I didn't make a visit. So it's like so close to home for me, because people treated me or shunned me from a different type of way because of what he did, and they didn't even know what he did. They just know that
he was in jail.
He was in jail. Or people would say, well, you know, what are you doing when you're going these, I mean, how is it like? And I actually had, when he got eventually transferred to one of the local prisons, then I actually saw my professor in there. She was visiting her son, but she turned her head because she didn't want to see me. And I'm thinking to myself, if we're both in here, then you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. And it's such a negative stigma behind people being incarcerated, but it really hits close to home for that. And from that foundation, I created a board. And I have several board members. You know, if I could give them some quick shout outs, like I have educators up there. I have school board members. I have social workers. I have lawyers. But everybody on my board has some type of connection to incarceration. So when we tell people that we're real, we're real. So when we go in front of people and we speak and we tell our story, we can actually relate to exactly what's going on. We didn't just come up with this idea to help someone that we felt like was underprivileged or needed help. We've actually all lived this scenario before.
Wow, that is awesome. The Man Foundation. I love that. What is your website in case people, while they're listening, they want to log on?
Well, we're on all social media. We're on Facebook as The Man Foundation. We're on Instagram as The Man Foundation. And we're on Twitter as 13 Man Foundation. But our actual website is through another business that I have, and it's glamourprestige.net/The Man Foundation.
Glamourprestige.net/The Man Foundation. And we do have a call. Let's see who is on the phone. Hi, 91. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, it's your boy, Callie.
Hi, Khaled. If you could turn your radio down for me, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
How you doing today? Go ahead and share your comment, question, or concern, please.
First, I want to give her a big shout out for even thinking about the little people like us. Like I'm a I'm a child of a convicted felon. I'm a convicted felon. I've been in prison my whole life, from juvenile all the way up to being an adult. We should have had stuff going on like this a long time ago. Like, they're helping us empower ourselves to not go back. And it takes women like her to make a man change his life. I want to shout out my wife. She did that for me. I moved way here to Virginia from California to start over. And it takes women like her and the doctor to do that, to make a man want to change himself.
All right. Yes.
I've been home for 10 years. I ain't been incarcerated in 10 years because I got a woman that sounds just like her. So when she say it hit home to me right now. That's why I call.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Thank you for listening as well. Have a good weekend. Yes, see, I knew it was going to be, because, you know, people, it happens more prevalently than we think. And just like you said, it has a negative connotation. So a lot of people don't want to say, hey, I've been locked up. And the people that have been locked up, the few that comes out, well, not the few that have been, but the few that comes out and they say, I've been locked up, they're doing something as in, like, you know, a nonprofit or something like that. So, you know, they're trying to speak out and make people feel comfortable, or let people know that you can make a difference after incarceration as well. So your story and people like you, kudos to you. So I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. Out here stuttering and everything. We're going to take a quick break. Hopefully when we come back, our second guest, Mike Wilkins, aka Mike Lynk, will be here. He's the community leader of Virginia Organizing. But who I have in here, who was just spitting that knowledge for you guys, is Dr. Jaclyn Walker. She's the founder of the Man Foundation. More of that coming up here on Hampton Roads Voices. Oh, become a part of the conversation. Either call in 757-823-9110, 823-9110, or use the hashtag HRV, hashtag HRV on Twitter or Facebook, so we can go ahead and ask your question on the air or reply to you online, okay? It's Hampton Roads Voices, Mass Incarceration, Present Day Slavery, right here on Hot 91. Hampton Roads Voices, yes. New episode today is called Mass Incarceration, Present Day Slavery, and we're getting our hands dirty with this topic. And we're just exposing the fact that these prisons are owned by private companies, and these prisoners are walking dollar signs, basically, to some of these companies. I have a very special guest with me, guest experts, okay? Dr. Jaclyn Walker, she's the founder of the Man Foundation. And on the phone, on his way in, I have Mike Wilkins, a.k.a. Mike Lynk, a community leader from Virginia Organizing. And also sitting in with me, I have program director and also afternoon drive host, Doug Perry. He has some things to say about mass incarceration. So
I thought I was off today.
Yeah. Hello, Doug. Hello, Dr. Walker. And hey, Mike.
How you doing? How y'all doing?
All right, Mike.
All righty. So before we got off the air, Dr. Walker, you was telling us about the Man Foundation, but Doug said, you know what? I got plenty to say about this. So tell the people, Doug. You said you have an uncle that is incarcerated?
Yeah, I have an uncle that's incarcerated, and I have a few family members that are actually incarcerated that is in the prison system here in Virginia. One of the things that I've been doing, because of the personal connection, and Jackie, when you were talking about the personal connection, and it sparks a purpose and a passion. It has really become a passion to really start to see and dig into it, how the Constitution, actually, when we start looking at the United States Constitution, it allows a loophole. And inside of this loophole, it is structured so that, yes, we had abolition of slavery, the abolishment totally of slavery that was going on. So we're supposed to be free. But when we read into the Constitution and read into those things that are there, if we're incarcerated, then we're no longer have our rights. We no longer have our freedoms. What we have done is we have made a situation where slavery has actually become legalized by the Constitution, and then they use the loophole of incarceration in order to start to do mass incarceration, so that now we're back into a place where we're supposed to be free, but now we're incarcerated to the point where now is legalized slavery. And they have put it on the books. and started dealing with the administration. I think this happened under the Carter administration, when they started really pushing for the war on drugs, and they started to make certain things unbalanced. When you have somebody who may be going through the system and they may have cocaine, and they have a lot of cocaine, but yet if a person has a certain ounce of crack on them that is derivative of cocaine, they're immediately arrested they're thrown in. And as you were saying earlier about the system of, they get a public defender because they can't take care of actually having a lawyer, and they have the public defenders. The public defenders are playing a game of chess with us. And as they're playing a game of chess with us, let's see if we can plea bargain this one, get them to sign this agreement. They're starting to get paid because of the situation that is going on of mass incarceration. Then they are starting to get people locked up and starting to put them into these prisons, that the prisons are actually designed to be nothing but cash cows of the industrial revolution, and starting to be, as we would quote say, a system in which they're making money on slavery in all directions. Now, when we look at our tax dollars, the American tax dollars that we're paying as citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia, taxes to them. They're paying the prison system from our part of our taxes. Then when we're turning around, they're making goods and services. And then you have the institutions like this institution that we're here with now as Norfolk State. They have to purchase from this institution. And so now you have businesses built inside of the Commonwealth that has to purchase from the prison system. So it's becoming one big entity of an enterprise. And then you have private enterprise also getting in on it. So now they're making products that for private consumption. So now you're talking about slavery just reincarnated in a different way. And we're getting arrested every day or going into this system every single day to perpetuate another cycle that's starting to go and go and go and go and
Too
go.
much knowledge for us, Doug. let us absorb it. Go ahead, Dr. Walker.
And 2 points that Doug brought up that I really want to talk about is that when we talk about slavery, and I keep this on my phone, let me tell you what it says. It says the 13th Amendment states that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for a crime, whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So as Doug stated, it is slavery. Because it says we've abolished slavery except for the punishment of a crime.
Wow.
And then the second portion that Doug brought up is that what we have to realize too is that each city has the way that they dictate their public defenders. A lot of times they appoint pro bono lawyers to act as public defenders. But if a city has a building that has public defenders, the public defenders get paid by the same people that the Commonwealth attorney gets paid by.
There you go.
So how are you really defending me publicly if you're really going against the same people that brought me into this court in the first place?
Wow.
So is that really a fair trial? Is that really a fair piece of evidence to really have that we are really being defended by the same group of people, just in another form, that has brought us into this courtroom in the first place?
That's good. You have any?
And I'd like to touch on that too. A lot of times, even with public defenders, they get such, I guess what you want to say, like a large workload where they don't have the time to really pour into, like if you had the means to afford your own personal lawyer. So when it comes to, I guess, working towards maybe getting somebody a lesser sentence if they are guilty, or even trying to just work towards getting them off if they're not guilty, they don't have the opportunity to really put a lot of time in. Now, many may argue that this is not true, but it does happen quite often, depending on who that particular public defender is. And most times, I believe public defenders, they're fresh into law. They're just starting out, and they're kind of even in their learning stages as well. So that's the risk you end up taking. I guess if you find yourself in a situation where you're being tried for a crime, and then you have to basically get an appointed lawyer if you can't afford to pay for one.
Mm-hmm. That's the point. And we do have a call. We do have a couple calls. So let's see who is on the phone. Hi, 91. You're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Glenda Tracy Ball Sawyer.
All righty. What is your comment or question, ma'am?
Okay, my comment was to agree with you that about the system and the slavery of drug dealing and drug using and incarceration and things like that. I just called you to tell you that I agree with everything that all three of you have to say.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment, and thank you for listening.
Okay, then.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Yes, we want to hear from you. Give us a call, 823-9110, 823-9110 to get in on this conversation. Okay, so I see why, this may be worthy of a conversation. But is this really a large-scale type of epidemic, in your opinion, all three of you?
It's definitely, a large-scale epidemic, in my opinion, only because of my personal connection where I have been through jails and prisons. Mm-hmm. I've seen the women's side and I've also seen the men's side. And if you, maybe not in Virginia, but if you go to other states, it's so overcrowded that sometimes they have to let you out early. You can't even finish your sentence because somebody else is waiting on your bed. If you think about how when you see these celebrities that go to jail for I think Paris Hilton went to jail one time for 27 hours because they didn't have enough room to actually keep her in for what she had actually done because somebody else was waiting for her actual bed space or just for the space alone. So in various states and cities, it's so overwhelming that they have to sometimes let these people back out into the streets without even ever have been rehabilitated. Now, I'm not saying that a prison or a jail really rehabilitates you.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I'm saying that sometimes it's like a revolving door. You're walking in and you walking right back out because sometimes we're not saying that if you commit a crime, you don't need to go to jail, but sometimes you need time to think. Sometimes you need time to focus. If you put me in jail and I'm right back out in 27 hours or if I'm right back out and I've had no type of training, because prisons and jails have a lot of different programs and resources in them. And a lot of times people in there take advantage of them. Mm-hmm. They take advantage of the schooling. They take advantage of some of the classes that they have. But if you're sending me in and out, how am I really being rehabilitated? How about you hook me up with a program that can be able to help me? Or how about you give me some type of model class that I should be able to have some access to instead of just sending me in and then, you do 30 days and then you right back out again.
Yeah, go ahead,
Doug. Jackie, the rehabilitation is a joke. It is one of the biggest lies that was told in the Commonwealth because the simple reason what they're teaching them is what their products are so that they can make their products.
Wow.
It's not a rehabilitation when you come, they teach you the skill. But each one of the prisons has a skill set. And each one of them makes certain products.
Right.
So what you're learning inside of the prison as supposed to be a real rehabilitation skill is what the prison is known to be making.
Right.
So that's what you're basically going to be turning out. Now, on the educational side, at one point, you used to be able to go into some of the prison systems and actually be educated and be able to, let's say, get a degree or either matter of fact, finish out your GED. Some of those programs, because of the cuts that the Commonwealth is actually making, some of those programs are gone. Unless they're privately funded.
Yeah.
With the churches coming in and some of the things that are going. But as the budget cuts go, so does some of those rehabilitation programs inside of the prisons.
Yeah.
They go away as well.
Well, locally, I know around here, the educational components are still available. I know recently, I think within the last 2 or 3 years, one of my friends that works in one of the jails, around here, they had someone to graduate with the full standard diploma from high school.
Okay.
I was the first person around this area of its caliber in a while. But GED is usually still taught in the prison. And that's another thing. And I know you guys talked about school to prison pipeline a couple of shows ago. But a lot of people do need to be able to get their GED while they're in prison or jail because they dropped out of school because of the school to prison pipeline.
Yeah. And we do have a phone call. Let's see who is on the line. Hi, 91, you're live in the air. Who am I speaking with?
This your boy Callie. I called back.
Okay. Well, go ahead, sir.
Because he is correct. The rehabilitation part of the correctional, if it's nationally or by state, I remember when they started putting the R up there, the rehab, it just helps the state generate more money by having us create Levi's at this prison, or this prison is a foster farm prison. See, we have 42 prisons in the state of California and only 15 colleges. So it is really the stuff that he's talking about. I've been going through, like, listening to and going through, like, because it started with the rehab stuff with Cali, because they just want to put a more tax on our head. They get more per person by sending us to substance abuse programs and transferring us from prison to prison to say that this program is going to work. But like he said, you are, at the end of the day, when you on your stretch home to go home, you're working in these sweat boxes for 15 cents an hour, and Bob Barker making all the money off of it.
Wow. Thank you for your comment. Yes, and if you want to make a comment, please do. 823-9110, 823-9110, or get in on the conversation online. Use the hashtag HRV. We will answer your questions on the air or answer it on the social media. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more on Hampton Roads Voices Mass Incarceration. It's Hot 91. Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul. Good evening to you. You are tuned into Hampton Roads Voices, Mass Incarceration, Present-Day Slavery. Oh, yes. That's what we're talking about, that these prisons are actually private businesses, okay? These convicts, well, not convicts, the prisoners in there are actually walking money bags for some of these businesses. Who I have with me is Dr. Jaclyn Walker. She's the founder of the Man Foundation, and Mike Wilkins, a.k.a. Mike Lynk. You may know him if you are, active in your community. He's a community leader in Virginia organizing, and I think that you should know that both of these people are not only Norfolk State University alum, whoop, whoop, behold, but they are also WNSB Hot 91 alum. So hello, you guys. How are you?
Yes. And we also are from Portsmouth, Virginia.
All right.
Yes.
From the best high school in the land.
And which would that be?
IC Norcom.
And I knew you was going to say that. I always say IC Norcom school spirit is out of this world. Like, you guys are like a mini university.
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are. And most of y'all come right here to Norfolk State and give us all that love here, too. So.
And there's a stigma about the city of Portsmouth. I just want to set the record straight while we up here that nothing good comes out of Portsmouth, but you have two people sitting right here really trying to impact the community.
That's right.
Portsmouth is a beautiful city. The people there are beautiful.
Yes, they are. I'm beautiful. Jackie's beautiful.
Yeah, just beautiful people.
And I love your energy when you came back in too. That was
thank
that was
you.
awesome. You got me all pumped up.
Good. And we do have 3 calls, so let's get pumped up. Let's see who's on the phone. Hot 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hello,
Hot 91, you're live on the air, sir. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, how you doing? My name's Tony.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on, Tony? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Hey, listen, I was just riding down the street, just strolling through the station, and I picked up on this. I want to know, y'all might have already said it, I don't know. I want to know how I can get in contact with y'all, right? Because I want to come here. I want to come, like, be in your presence. I'm quite sure y'all speak at functions or something. I want to be able to come to, sit down and see what y'all got to say, and maybe give a different perspective on what y'all got to say on a lot of things. Because I did 21 things in that box, man.
21 things.
And a lot of things that people see, I don't see it the same way.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. As briefly as you can,
Yes,
just
sir.
give us a little short perspective on just the total subject matter about mass incarceration and how basically these institutions are profiting from the inmates as it relates to things that we utilize out here in society.
Okay. Again, like I just told you, I was in there for 21 years.
Okay.
We are used and abused in there like no other. I mean, they tax you for everything. For everything. If a oodle noodle in the street might cost you 20 cents, and there it might cost you $1.
Mm-hmm.
They raping you at every. They're exploiting you at every turn. But
Now,
I blame it on us as the people.
Okay.
Because listen, somewhere you got to stand up and fight. somewhere you got to stand up for something that's right, something that's positive. I think we as a people, once we get in there, we fall into the comfort zone of, well, let me give you an example. Somebody on assistance, they get comfortable with it and they lay in it, and they complain, but they don't do no changing.
Right, and I don't know if when you, this is Dr. Walker, if you didn't hear me speak when you said you were cruising through the stations, and I don't know if you heard what, exactly what I said, but that was one of the main purposes that I said, is that while you're in there, you need to have a focus. You need to have some type of focus point. You need to be working on goals. You need to be working on dreams, because a lot of talent is in the prison and the correctional facilities. And I just feel like you said, if you're on assistance, or if you have someone in there that may be giving you everything, then you may get lazy. And you may feel like, okay, well, if I do this bid again, these same people are going to help me, or these same people are going to be able to do the things that I need them to do. So if I go ahead and commit a crime, I'm going right back. But like you said, that's a mindset. So regardless of what happens, whether you're in there for negative or whether you're in there for positive, what your focus is, you have to change your mindset. Nobody can change that for you. So that's why we're trying to embrace, when people come back home, how we can help you change your mindset. Because if you don't change your mindset, you're going to end right back in the situation, or even a worse situation that you were in before. Because see, if you're on probation and you get another charge, you getting all that time thrown back at you. The majority of the time. So it's one of those situations where if you don't help yourself, no one actually can make you do it. And we talk about that all the time. Like, you have to have a plan for yourself. Us as community leaders, or us as people that are trying to help fight the mass incarceration fight that we're trying to have with you, we can only get support if we have the people that's coming out to do what they're supposed to do, which is start to be more positive, or start to do things that's not going to allow you to get right back in the system that you were just in.
And I like to touch on this too. I think it's very important that something that you alluded to, just by talking about, I guess, how much something costs, right? Let's just say somebody's out here, they haven't been in jail before. And by you giving a testimony of understanding, I guess, goods and services, or maybe those who get the opportunity actually to do some type of job, and people not understanding that you're more likely to have a better chance in making more money out of the system versus when you get into the system and you work next to nothing. And I think that's important. It's the education that's lacked for a lot of young men that may end up in the system don't know these things that they're up against because nobody tells them. And what happens is when they end up, I guess, getting like the fast dollar here, and then they go into the system, and that entire change is just like, it's a total switch. And I guess it's kind of like, it's very important that you did bring up that point, just understanding just the economics about like how jail works, whether it's buying something or even working within the jail.
And that's what I wanted to touch on when we get to that subject area, about how these companies, not the companies that are owning the jails, but the companies that contribute to the jails, i.e. the people that provide you with the collect calls, the people that provide you with canteen, the people that provide you with email and internet services, they are also part of this $1 billion industry that we contribute to this mass incarceration.
Now, moving forward, I know this young man asked you guys where he can find you as far as Instagram, Twitter, online.
Well, we, as far as the Man Foundation is concerned, we are the Man Foundation on Facebook and Instagram, and we're 13 Man Foundation on Twitter. And also,
hey,
if you
hold on. Excuse me. I ain't trying to be rude or nothing. In case y'all couldn't tell by my voice, I'm an old head. I don't know how to do none of that. I told you I just came from penitentiary.
He need phone numbers.
I need phone numbers. They go something. Hey, look, I'm keeping it gangster.
Right. So if you want to call us, you can call us at 757-295-8787.
Hold up.
Hold on, nigga, going too fast.
I know she is.
All right, I'm ready now.
Oh,
all right,
it's 757.
Yes.
295.
Yes.
8787.
All right, I got you.
And if you have people that are still incarcerated, we also have a P.O. box where we have inmates to write to us, whether it's just for encouragement, whether it's just for assistance, or whether it's just to ask us questions or to help them with their families, or just any type of resource that we can provide for them as well.
Is there any way we could put him on hold and get his contact information?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Alrighty. Hold for 1 second. Let's move on. Hi, 91. Who am I speaking with? You're live on the air, by the way.
Okay, it's Francis.
Hey, Francis.
How you doing?
What's your comment question? What's your comment question?
One comment I want to make is that, is there any way that maybe some of these large organizations, like, NAACP, the Nation of Islam, Black Lives Matter, all these large organizations who know about this problem and, have also voiced problems, why not start getting a collection, where you're trying to get monies, where you go on air, do, telethons or whatever, and get monies up where they can maybe have a battery of lawyers, maybe, public defenders who we pay to get to at least make sure the person's being represented right. They have a chance, lawyers will get a chance to maybe, take it case by case, maybe there's some case, but, there's a lot of people who, the only reason why they're locked up is because, they can't get, proper representation. So, I think it would be good if a lot of the organizations would start trying to, get some type of funding thing where, because, money talks. That's why they got this thing going on now, because the negative folks are paying their people, to do this thing. So we need to start paying some folks to, be on our side.
Okay, just to touch on that a little bit, sir. Okay. I will have you to know that the organizations that you mentioned, as well as others, do advocate for funding and fundraising to help out in those different situations that people may encounter. One particular organization that you mentioned, I do know a little bit about. You talked about the NAACP. The way that it works sometimes on a case-by-case basis, what happens is individuals have the option to actually contact organizations like that if they are having problems with obtaining a lawyer. And what those type of organizations can do is to possibly provide some type of resource based on that person's current situation. So it does happen. It's just a matter of people understanding that it is out there and they're able to access them and to contact them to get those type of services.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, then if those services are available, they definitely need. I don't know why it's not, because there's a lot of people who will say, you hear it all the time, well, I can't get a lawyer. I don't have the money for a lawyer. But obviously, it's like people don't know. Okay. And one of the big things that I wish could happen more is when it comes to different organizations, like the Man Foundation that we have here right in the studio, or any other organization out there, is just finding a way to better market what it is, whether it's through radio, whether it's through some type of advertisement, whether it's through television commercials, because those are the outlets that people who may need those type of services, if there was a larger avenue to market what these organizations do, then it would be a lot easier for people who need the service to have access to them. Sometimes when you come out of jail, you have no means of knowing where to go or where these programs are if nobody's telling you. Exactly.
All right, sir. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, we have one more call, and then we're going to take a quick break. Hot 91, you're live in the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Dante.
Hey, Dante.
How you doing, Dante?
How you doing, Dante?
What's going on? Yeah, so I just wanted to call. I'm like other people. I was just listening on to my radio station. I said, man, mass incarceration. And so that's one of my areas of interest. I'm a doctoral student over at ODU. And so I just wanted to make the comment that, so one of the things that I'm looking at, especially when it comes to state-level incarceration, is the presence of voter ID laws and felon disenfranchisement laws. And so I want to see, is there like a relationship when those laws are present in a state, does it affect the population change? And so voter ID laws, they obviously disproportionately affect minorities and poor people, specifically black people, as well as felon disenfranchisement laws. And so when you think that there's this population of more than maybe 7 million people out there that are disenfranchised or they don't have the means to vote, think about that political power that we're lost or that's lost in translation into policy. And so when we think about the corporations that do own these systems or the prison systems, these are mostly white elite organizations or white dominated organizations. And so you think about racism in America, it's still very much in our fabric. And so so when they pay for and they lobby to keep these laws in place or to promote these laws, they lock us out of that political voice. And so I'm looking at, hey, when a state does have these laws in place, does it affect? Cause so I'm guessing. My guess is you're going to see more people in the prison system if these laws are in place. So I didn't know if there was anything that y'all have ever looked at, like the political aspect of it or the public policy aspect of like population.
Well, Dante, what I want to say in reference to your comment, I don't know how long you've been listening, but I keep going back to the point of mindset. So let me tell you just a little bit about what that means in reference to what you've indicated. So I go and I work with various prisons, jails, felons, inmates all the time, and their focus is not voting. And we have all of these laws that are surrounded around voter restoration or restoration of rights in reference to getting the felons their voting rights back. But when you're coming out of jail and you're thinking about that you don't know if you have a place to live, if you have a place to even go to take a shower, if you're going to have a job, voting is the last piece of information that's really on their mind. So as far as my organization is concerned, we do support in reference to restoration of rights, but our main focus is trying to make people back into a returning citizen where they're able to work, where they're able to have some place to live. And once they can get their mindset back into a place where they feel like they are a citizen, then we start working on voting rights. I mean, I don't know what Mike's opinion is on that, but we start there first. So I really can't answer your question in the way that you may have wanted me to answer, but I just have to be real about when people come to us, they're not thinking about voting because they feel like that their voice isn't heard, because when they were in the prison, only time that even some type of political figure would come around when it was time to vote, and then they're speaking out to families about these laws that will affect them. But in hindsight, it's really going to affect them, but they're not making a choice to be able to have them to affect them because they can't vote.
Thank you.
Also, Jackie did allude to an important piece about the mindset. I think what happens is when those who come out of incarceration, when they do get to that point where they're able to, I guess, look at life differently and they start to learn more about what it means to be a productive citizen, that's when voting really comes into play, because they understand how it affects them, whether it's socially, economically, in all aspects of life, and how important, why we always try to advocate for everybody to get out and vote from the start. And what happens is, like Dr. Walker alluded to before, that has to change first. But I think also just from a political standpoint, there have been a couple laws that just recently passed just to get voting rights back restored for those who have been incarcerated. It's just a matter of those people who want their rights restored getting to that point and understanding how important it is and doing the necessary things that they need, like getting involved with an organization like the Mann Foundation, and taking the necessary steps to get their rights back. But also, too, understanding what their record is, what needs to be taken care of in order to get those rights back as well.
And one piece to consider too, Mike, is that when people think they're getting their rights back, they're not getting all of their right back. They're only getting the right to vote back.
Right.
So when people think, oh, you have to petition the court and you have to petition the government to be able to get the right to bear arms again. So when you're actually getting your rights back, you know, people are, since they're uninformed about what exactly it is they're getting back, people often assume that they're getting all of their rights back. But the only right that you're getting back is the right to vote.
Right.
All righty.
Well, yeah, no, thank you guys for just entertaining that for a bit, and appreciate your advocacy and the work that y'all are doing. It kind of put a little warm spot in my heart to hear that y'all were doing this work, so I thank you for that.
Thank you.
And keep up your good work, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
All right, we're going to take a little break. Yes. Whew. Hampton Roads Voices, mass incarceration, present day slavery. When we get back, we're going to get more into the questions that we have prepared, but you guys are on a roll and I love it. Okay. Make sure you keep it locked right here. It's Hot 91. Hot 91, your choice for hip hop and R&B. So Hampton Roads Voices. Yes, we are live. Yes.
Yes.
Got Mike Lynk here, also known as Mike Wilkins in the community leader with Virginia Organizing. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. He's also a Norfolk State University /WNSB /Mass Comm alum / he's from Portsmouth. He wants y'all to know.
Yes.
And then we also have Dr. Jaclyn Walker. She's the founder of the Man Foundation. And she is also everything I just said. WNSB /Norfolk State University /Mass Comm alum.
Right, so we got to behold that green and gold, and then we also got to support them greyhounds.
Okay, I see Norcom is in the house. Yes, and we're talking about mass incarceration, present-day slavery, and what a conversation we are having. We want you to become a part of it. If you're online on social networks, go ahead and tag us. Well, use the hashtag HRV. We will find you. Hashtag HRV. You don't have to tag Hot 91, but if you want to, we are at Hot 91 online on Twitter. Okay. And you can give us a call, 757-823-9110, 823-9110. We would rather have you call. Okay. So you can get in on this conversation and share your thoughts, ask your questions and whatnot. So, let's go ahead and hop here. When Hillary Clinton was running for president, a lot of people came forward and was like, we are kind of stuck in between two races, quote unquote. One is an open racist and another one is a closet racist because her, husband had a lot to do with putting those people in jail, like a lot of people in jail back of the crack epidemic and things of that nature back in the 1990s and a little bit before the 80s as well. So what, if you guys know, and I'm sure you do, what exactly transpired in the 80s and the 90s that led to this explosion of incarceration rates?
So starting in 1982, because I'm a researcher, all the way up to the early 90s, we had the crack epidemic. Let's just be real about it. We've all seen New Jack City.
Yep.
We've all seen these various different movies and shows that indicate to the crack epidemic. Mm-hmm. So when it was brought into, and I want to say it was brought into our African American communities, then this is what started all of this. If I can make $5 quick off of some crack and I could just sell it to you, that's easy money instead of me going to McDonald's and I have to work a whole hour. Mm-hmm. And probably back in the 80s, it probably was about $3 and some change for minimum wage. What am I going to do? Especially when my community is already impoverished. We're going through a lot of different social economic disparities. So if I have to make a choice, I'm going to make the easy and fast way as well. But when that was happening, because it was an epidemic, that's when Reagan put the Just Say No to Drugs. Mm-hmm. And when he put the Just Say No to Drugs, it was supposed to stop everybody doing drugs, and then we have McGruff and all these other people, but it's too late now because I already see this money. And then you also have to look at image and perception. If I see the local drug dealer that's driving the Benz and that has all the prettiest girls and has all the fly clothes on, what's the choice I'm gonna make as a 10-year-old kid when he didn't go to college or he is not making good grades in school? He's standing on the corner or he's driving to different places to drop off drugs. So if it's a choice to make, I mean, come on. When you're looking at it from someone that doesn't have any money, what choice are you going to make? So when you spoke about Bill Clinton, he came into the 90s, and that was the 1994 crime bill law. And with that law, why it reaches out to mass incarceration, because it was the 3 strikes law. Mm-hmm. So what the 3 strikes law is, 1 time you done something, 2 times you done something, 3 times, 3 strikes you out. So now I could have done 3 things that could have not been, I maybe didn't kill somebody, maybe I didn't do some of these violent crimes, but now I'm spending the rest of my life in jail or in prison, because of this 3 strikes law. And that what has really started mass incarceration. But that was Bill Clinton's way in trying to rectify what he can do for the community. Because I remember watching one time when him and Hillary were running, and someone had spoken from Black Lives Matter, and they were talking about, well, your husband put this law in place. And I remember he got upset because it's in the movie, in the 13 movie, about, would you rather have these people out here on the street killing the very same people that you're trying to support? So it's like that was his justification of why he put that law in place. But now, like you said, he kind of has some remorse of why he really put that bill.
And he said that.
And he said it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we do have some calls on the phone. Hold on for a second. Hi, 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Somjah Morel.
How you doing, sir? If you can
repeat your name.
Somjah Morel.
Okay.
All righty.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I just wanted to reach out to y'all. I was locked up, and I actually didn't even think I was going to get on the phone. But I think that's blessings in disguise. I think a lot of what I'm going to say is just blessings has been happening to me the whole time since I came home.
Yes.
I came home April 1st, 2008. Mm-hmm. I've been home ever since. I ain't been locked back up. I'm gonna just give you a shot of income right quick. I do about $40,000 to $50,000 a year.
Okay.
I'm a CDL driver, Class B.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that's listening that you ever been locked up, that's the easiest thing for you to do out here, bro. You ain't got it. It don't matter. You been locked up. As long as you got driver's license, you got the mental aptitude to go to the DMV, get the book. It don't cost you anything. It's free. You go in there, get the book, study it, the general knowledge part, the air brakes part. You're on your way. You take that permit. Once you get that permit in your hand, you go ahead and start applying with these companies out here that just drive Class B trucks, not the Class A stuff, not none of that. Don't let nobody fool you and saying you gotta go do that. You can do that later. Get the Class B thing going on. I started off at $10 an hour. I worked the dude that offered it to me. I ain't even want no Class B. I'm gonna just give you a backdrop. I didn't even want it. It was passed on to me through my first job, one of the first jobs that I got when I got out. Dude said, look, you get your CDL license, I give you $2-3 more an hour. If you, and since then I make $20 an hour now. But I'm just giving you, I just wanted to say that I got a whole lot to say. The lady that runs the Man Foundation, I think I can really, add something to what you're trying to do. I've really been trying to do some of that stuff anyway. But I've been running into roadblocks. I've been trying to get into the detention center, just doing some volunteering stuff. That ain't happened. I've been working on that. I got some here. I'm in, from Newport News. So I got some stuff I'm working on here in Newport News with the city, trying to do, with them to get, spark up with their program that they got going on to talk to the guys. But seriously, I'm really like the network. The guy, you've been locked up 20 years, bro. This is what I'm just explaining, bro. It'll work for you. As long as you got license, you got a plus whatever on your, driving record, man, you got some mental aptitude. That chip that you got on your shoulder as far as being locked up, man, throw that joint in the trash. You home now. You know what I mean? You just gotta change your whole, like y'all saying, mindset. You gotta change your mindset. And you know what I mean? It's gonna be hard. It ain't but it can be as easy as you make it, man. Plus put some blessings on, pray on, man. Just be willing to do this one step in front of the other. And I'm telling you, it's gonna come together. I promise you. I ain't the only guy that this has worked for. Everybody that's willing to listen to what I just said, man, it'll work the same way for you, bro. I got a guy that was locked up. Came home, he did 13 years. He was locked up from 18. Just running into him while we was locked up. I got out, and he got out after me. And I just gave him the same thing I did for you. I helped him, a couple other things, help him write his resume and stuff because he never worked before and stuff, and I was actually his point of contact when they called for the reference and everything. So, but he been working ever since. We've been home around the same amount of time. I got a couple houses, man. It's real, man. God will really take you in the right direction. You just gotta really, do it. It ain't I never sold anything. I didn't get a pack from my man and go, nuts and, give me a little bit of money. I didn't do any of that.
Well, we agree with you, and we want to be able to take the next caller. But before you leave, are you on social media where you would be able to look up our information? We're on Facebook and Instagram and also Twitter.
You know what? I'm also like my man.
You're
really
old
don't.
School.
Yeah, I'm old school. I'm 42.
Take number,
but
that's not old. 42 not old. So you got.
I'm just talking about in a sense of like. I don't get up there. I did my Facebook thing, the thing that it has my 8-year-old sister, daughter sitting in the back. The picture that I have up there when I first put it up there, she was about 3 months old. Mm-hmm. So that lets you, let you know I just don't really go up there. But yeah, I take the information, and like I said, I'd like to personally give you my information off there, and then, you know, be able to, really network with you. I'm dead serious. This is a passion for me. I already make good money, so I ain't really focused on making money off of it. I'm trying to, like I say, volunteer.
Okay,
and get some people going.
Our number
also got my rights back too last year.
That's excellent. Our number is 295-8787. And then we'll keep you on hold so we can get your information offline.
For sure.
All right.
Hold on for me, sir, please.
You're welcome.
Hi, 91. Who am I speaking with? You're live on the air, by the way.
Oh, yeah, this is Jay from P-Town.
Hey, Jay, if you can quickly give me your comment, question, or concern. We do have a couple of callers.
Okay, my concern is, like I said, I know, I've been talking to a lot of guys about what they do and whatever, but me, I'm just I guess I'm a different breed of person. My crime was violent, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to speak for the violent offenders that got out here, and did something that really, hurt people's lives and took people's lives, stuff like that. But I've been trying to get my rights restored, and I've been out here since 2006. I ain't got in no trouble. Like I said, the next caller that said, I've been out here working, making good money, and bought me a home, all these things. But every time I try to talk to somebody about getting my rights restored, it's like I'm getting railroaded. And I'm like, I'm out here doing good in the community. I coach football, coach baseball, advocate out here in the community. But it's like I don't have a point of contact for the violent offenders out here that's trying to make a difference and trying to make a change when it comes to these people that every time I try to, reach out to this person, it's like their voicemail before you can leave a voicemail. Everybody's call is jammed up. So it's like,
if you get in contact with us, with the Man Foundation, we will get you in contact with the right people that work with violent offenders. Like, I don't know how long you've been listening, but our focus has not been restoration of rights, but we do have surrounded ourselves with people who will be able to help you with that violent, getting that restoration for violent offenders.
Yes, sir. I as well know a couple of lawyers who can help you out with that as well. It's just a matter of, like you said, you spoke up today. Now we can help you make that first step.
Give me some numbers, man. I'm willing to call whoever. Like I said, I'm doing good out here in the community. Came home, got me a job, supervising my job. I'm good out here. I'm just trying to, get what I need back, so that way I can. Besides me telling these little kids to get out here and vote, it'll feel much better if I'm saying I'm voting too.
Right.
Besides me telling all these kids that I'm coaching and mentoring that, trying to get them on the right path when I can't even do it myself. So it's kind of like I want to be able to practice what I preach out here at the same time.
Right. Well, our number is 295-8787. That's the Man Foundation. And you can also look us up on all social media. And that comes directly to all of our contact information. So if you are on social media, hit us up there or hit us up at 295-8787.
And if you don't mind, Holder, we can also put you on hold and get your information as well.
Okay. All righty. Hold on for 1 second. Before we take another call, let's talk about this a little bit more. Okay. The war on drugs. We were talking about that, the crack epidemic and things of that nature. The war on drugs. Is it failing and ineffective, or is it thriving and successful?
It's failing and ineffective. I mean, you can go to almost any neighborhood around any of the 7 cities, and you're going to see where it's a drug. It's just infiltrated with drugs. I mean, there's no better way to say it. Like, it's failing, and it still goes back to the 80s and 90s with people who see this ideal lifestyle of someone living in crime and they're making money with drugs. But then you also got to think about who's buying it. So if people are buying drugs, they're getting some type of thrill or high from it. So that's the reason why they're buying drugs. That's the reason why it's in supply and demand. I mean, that's the first rule of economics, supply and demand, because if it wasn't in demand, we wouldn't need a supply. So, I mean, that's the reason why it is still failing and ineffective, because no one is really, I mean, we see, and Mike, you can add on to this. I mean, I see DEA agents and I see narcotics officer all the time. Every now and then they're going to have a drug bust. But what about the day-to-day? Like, what about the day-to-day drugs that are just probably happening as we're speaking right now? Like, we could go a couple of miles from here, and you're going to see drug transactions. I mean, let's just be honest here. Like, the war on drugs it's a joke.
The way I look at it too, man, the biggest part about people who choose to go down this path is exposure. What are you exposed to? Some young people, you're born into it. You're born into the environment, so you begin to learn it from birth. And if you don't have any outlet, any source or resources to, I guess, change your mindset or give you a different perspective on what path to go down, then it's highly likely that you will pick up that same type of behavior or habit and continue to recycle the problem that's already going on. And like Dr. Walker said, it really boils down to the economics and where it's happening at and the locations. And when you take away the money, when you take away the resources, people feel like that is, the only option that they have. If they don't have some type of guide, some type of person or individuals or a group of people that's going to steer them in a different direction. And I think today is almost like people don't even think about the risk. They don't think about the consequences. It's like that's like not even a thought on what the repercussions are when it comes to making these decisions and saying that they're going to choose to go down this route. I mean, I was, a lot of people don't know this about me, but when I was young, my family was affected by the war on drugs. My father in particular, I'm able to, talk about it now, but 20 some years ago, because of the war on drugs, my father decided to take a path down that road, and somebody in the street sold him drugs, and it broke our family up. I'm blessed to say that our relationship has been restored, and we're able to get past that, and he's changed his life around. But we have to find a way to get resources and to change these neighborhoods and get on the ground. We can have conversation all day. We can talk about it, but we really got to get on the ground. We really got to get our hands dirty. And a lot of people don't want to get their hands dirty.
And we also, too, might have to look at the issue of being proactive. Because if someone is taking drugs, sometimes it's filling a void. So the question is that what needs to happen so that people don't want to take the drugs? And then once they're taking drugs, what do we need to do to help them get off? So back to supply and demand. A drug dealer can't make money if he doesn't have any customers.
That's true.
So people that want the drugs, we need to find out. And another thing that I want to point out to you too is that they always give you the statistics about people that are incarcerated because they sold drugs or because they had possession of drugs. But you would be surprised at the number of statistics of people who are in there behind drugs. So I robbed you because I needed drugs. I tried to kill you because I needed the drugs. I tried to do all these various crimes, which is still centering back to the war on drugs. So it's not just the people that got locked up for having drugs or locked up for selling them. It's also the people that are in there that had to do these things so they were able to get the drugs.
Yes. Okay. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're still going to try to squeeze in our last conversations about mass incarceration, present day slavery. This is Hampton Roads Voices. Make sure you keep it locked right here. It's Hot 91. Hot 91, your choice for hip hop and R&B soul. Mike over there trying to run his mouth about I don't know what, but yes. We are back. Hampton Roads Voices, mass incarceration, present day slavery. Listen, this conversation is really longer than 2 hours, but that's all.
You gotta have us back.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And we do have a caller on the phone. And I told him that as soon as we get back, we will have him on. So let's see. Hot 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Could you speak up?
Oh, Tony, your phone is you.
Oh, hold on one second.
Perfect. That's perfect right there.
This is Antonio.
Oh, Antonio. Hello, sir. What's your comment, question, or concern?
Well, unfortunately, I spent a number of years also incarcerated. And the comment that I wanted to make is we are being recycled.
Yes.
Men between the ages of 18 and 25, they have the largest bullseye on their back. But if you've gone through the system, it's about
how do we return? That's what it's about. If you have to go through the system and you know you've done something, you make some mistakes, it is about recidivism. That's where the dollars are at. So that's what we have to prevent. We got to prevent our young youth, our future, from going in and out of these doors.
Right. And like, I don't know, like I keep saying every time I get a call, I mean, I can't express it enough, is that I've been preaching the whole time about mindset. So if you cannot change your mindset, then you're not going to be able to change the life and the lifestyle that you once were living and that you want to live, because no one else can do it for you. It doesn't matter how many community organizations we have, how many seminars we have, how many panel discussions that we have, until the light bulb goes off in you. Then there's nothing that we're going to be able to do for you until you make the choice to not want to go back to that life of crime again. Or on the proactive side, like a couple of weeks ago, and Mike was on the show when they talked the school to prison pipeline, we have to be reactive and proactive in those strategies, because once the child has already become suspended, now they're already a number. So now prisons are thinking about, we're going to have a bed for you, because if you keep up this life of going to school, getting suspended, going to school, getting suspended, then that's the same thing that's going to happen when you're out of school. But then it's not a suspension, it's a detention in a correctional facility. So until we can get our mindset right, like, it doesn't matter what we do, it doesn't matter what we say, you are the individual that has to be able to get it. And until people can really grasp that, then there's not anything more that these community organizations can do besides give you the opportunity once you have the right mindset. Because everybody has to have a goal, everybody has to have a vision, everybody has to have a dream. But in order to fulfill that, you got to make up your mind to do it.
And
I agree with you.
And I'd like to touch on this too, sir. When it comes to the young people, I think as a community or individuals, or even somebody like yourself, we need more ambassadors. We need somebody like you to say, hey, let me get these group of people, because there's some people on the radio station that are really talking about something that's very important. Sometimes I even think, like, who are the right people? Are the people that we're talking about even listening in to this station? Are the people that we're trying to get to see that their thought process or how they look at life, are they listening to this? Are they being exposed to this? We have to do more things together, and not necessarily on a individual basis. The more that we come together as people, we can begin to really make some significant changes. And there's tons of organizations and people who are doing what we're doing as well, and you can become a person that do that as well. Not saying that you don't do it, but it's important that we continue to do that and reach out to the young people, because before that happens, we need to do some type of preventative method at a young age, because those, like you said, those people are being targeted, and we got to make a change as soon as possible.
Right. Well, what I did not want to add, because I didn't want it to look like, I was just calling to toot my own horn. But since 2007, I've been basically an activist. I go back into the jails. I go into Norfolk City Jail 3 times a month. I counsel young gang members. At one time, I was an active gang member myself, but at almost the age of 50, that is a life that I've put behind me. So what I think would be the best opportunity for men that are struggling is to reach out to organizations like yourself and the Man Foundation. So what we need to do is just make sure that we are getting the message out there.
Right.
And most of these men don't have that message. They are incarcerated. So if we need to get the message out there, we got to start before they hit the street. We got to get them now. We got to get them while they are fresh, because there are no additives and preservatives in prison. Ain't no drinks. Ain't no 45. You see what I'm saying? So while these guys got a mindset that is fresh and they're thinking about, man, what can I do to be successful? That's when you got to grab these gentlemen. You can't wait for them to hit the street and say, you know what, here, this is what you need. You got to get these guys now because most of them don't have a home to call home.
Right.
Right.
The system is set up for you to return. That's how they keep continuously making money.
Right, it's a revolving door.
If they were to set it up for you not to return, then they wouldn't make as much money. So we got to get our people. We got to be active in our own people's lives.
You're right. And you will hear yourself, as well as many other people, just make that last statement about we. And what really it boils down to is that we really committing to making that commitment. And I thank you personally for even calling in, and all of the people who I've called in and gave their short testimony about turning their lives around. If we had more conversations like this, a lot of people listen to the radio station, whether it's this station or any other. If we had more conversations about hearing people who have been incarcerated and have felons and said that they turned their life around and did something positive and that they're being an entrepreneur and they're being productive, you just don't know how powerful that is for a story for somebody that might be out there struggling because they need to hear it.
And what I would like to do, sir, if you could hold on the line, I don't know how long you've been listening, but I was saying last year I had a panel discussion. It's called From Bad to Bad. We're looking at the definition of bad, and then we're looking at BAD, which stands for an acronym BAD, which stands for Building a Dream. I had 10 convicted felons that have changed their life around. And this year, when I do round 2, I do want to have a variety of people. So since you're committed to telling your story and being able to use proactive and reactive strategies, I would like to get your contact information so I can get you on board.
Oh, that'll be fine.
All right.
Okay.
Hold for 1 second, please.
Thank you, sir.
I sure will.
All righty. So Hampton Roads Voices has come to a close. And like I said, 2 hours was not enough. So we're very well going to have to do another show like this in the next quarter. Maybe in the summertime, maybe, in the fall, because this is a reoccurring issue. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Jaclyn Walker. She's the founder of the Man Foundation, and also not even a stranger here because you've been on the show the second time now.
Yes.
Mr. Michael, I said Michael, putting the whole government out there. Mr. Mike Wilkins, a.k.a. Mike Lynk of Virginia Organizing. Thank you both for being here.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes. And go ahead again, give them any phone numbers, social media links, website links of the both of you so they know where to find you.
So the Man Foundation is available on Facebook and Instagram as the Man Foundation. We're on Twitter as 13 Man Foundation. And our website is www.glamourprestige.net/The Man Foundation. Or if you just Google the Man Foundation with Dr. Jaclyn Walker, then we come straight up. We are in that Google link. We would love to hear from you. We want to hear some of the stories of people that are returning citizens that have changed their life around. We do have events all the time, and we do look for volunteers. Also, just a short plug that we do have a program in Hampton that's for children of incarcerated parents. It's called the BOSS program, and the BOSS stands for Breaking Obstacles to Seek Success. We are still looking for participants. So if you know anyone that lives in Hampton, the parent just has to be incarcerated. The child has to be between the ages of 12 and 18, and they just have to live in Hampton. We have a great opportunity for them. So if you could contact us, we would love to have you. Thank you.
Yes, as well. As we stated before, I'm a part of Virginia Organizing. As well, we can be reached on social media. Just put in Portsmouth, Virginia Organizing as well. And for anybody else, also just a other couple things that we got going on in the community. Virginia Organizing is doing a yard sale, so you can contact us about that. And what we're doing is just finding different ways to raise funds to support ideas like this, to support things like the Man Foundation is doing, to support advocating for the school to prison pipeline, to support restoration of rights as well. So and you could be contact me on social media as well, whether it's through Instagram or through Facebook. Just all you have to type in is just Mike Lynk, and that's Lynk with a Y, LYNK, Mike Lynk, and you can find me up there as well. And that's about it.
All righty. Okay. So Hampton Roads Voices, mass incarceration, present day slavery. That's This has been another episode. Don't forget that we are airing not only live on Fridays, but we are also rebroadcasting on Sundays as well. So if you want to hear this program from start to finish, you can do that on this Sunday coming up, okay, at 12 noon. Right here on Hot 91. DJ Illmatic Beats is coming up next. He's going to be, giving you the Cinco de Mayo mix. So make sure you keep it locked right here. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Khilo is out. It's Hot 91.